with, where did the name Ghetts come from?
Ghetts is derived from ghetto. I was talking about this the other day. It's funny.
Mhm. In the background, we've got Ghetts' daughter, by the way, people.
We've got my little one. She wants to get involved.
Well, you're a family man, and so you're involved, and she's involved. Go on, my love.
When I was first released, I was trying to call myself Freedom a lot, and all of the earlier tunes I was doing, I was saying Freedom, but people kept calling me Ghetto, and the name was kind of forced upon me. I didn't really want to run with it. It was kind of forced upon me, and it caught on. Shout out Storming.
So bottom line of it is you were going by the name of Freedom originally, and then Ghetts just took over. People gave you Ghetto gave you the name. So why did you lose the O?
Because I didn't like what it represented to everyone else. To me, it represented like coming from nothing to something, but to everyone else, they had this kind of, before they even meet me, they had an idea of who I was, and often they was wrong. You know what I'm saying? So I kind of didn't like. I don't like that name today. Like
the perceptions.
I don't like the perception of it.
Okay, so you've been producing music for about 11 years. Yeah. Thank you. That's Wikipedia right there.
Don't put a year on me. About 10.
About 10 years. 10 years. All right. Okay. So what have you worked on that you're most proud of?
I guess it's my last album. My life kind of changed phenomenally with my last album, Rebel with a Cause. So it would have to be Rebel with a Cause, man.
Rebel with a Cause.
Yeah.
What was the drive behind that one? Because it's funny that you said that, because I actually say that in my book, which I'm developing, called Rebel with a Cause. Because at one stage I was a rebel without a cause, and then as you get older, you start to. It's the same thing.
Yeah. So I guess it was my little one. Kind of gave me direction. You know what I'm saying? It's one thing living for yourself, and a whole other thing living for someone else. So she kind of gave me direction in terms of that.
All right. How did you realize that music was your passion and what you wanted to spend your time and energy on?
I'm very like, I can't concentrate on anything. I got a very bad concentration span, attention span. Sorry. But when I started doing music, I realized I could do it for like long hours. I can keep going, and I enjoyed it. So I just kept doing it. You know,
I can see your face. It's like I'm just thinking about being in the studio, thinking about creating.
I actually was still.
Okay, what did your friends and family say about your choice?
My family very supportive, very, 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 very till this day supportive of my choices. My friends, they couldn't believe it at first, because the type of person I was. We're growing up around MCs, all the big MCs from the area. So when I told them that I was gonna start MCing, I was like, you're a road man, like you're gone mad, fam. Like MCing, and these times they're not even heard me spit, so it's even more of
a shock.
Yeah, it's even more of a shock. And then I showed some people my bars and that, and they was like, nah, you're good, you're actually good, keep going. You know
I remember tapping in. We were working together when you were young. I can't even remember how old you were.
I was like 17 at that time.
Yeah, everybody was talking about Ghetts, and I was like, well, Ghetto. Yeah. Everybody was talking about Ghetto, and we were doing a lyrics writing workshop, and he was like, bottom line of it is, I'm already doing this. I was like, so what if you're already doing this? Yeah, it's about your people there giving. You know, when your friends and family are all saying you're excellent, you're good, but you need people outside of their zone to be able to be buying into your music. Yeah, okay, with that being said, what advice were you given, and what advice do you wish you were given? So let me just say that one more time. What advice were you given, and what advice do you wish you were given?
I weren't really given like good advice. I wish I was given like advice on how to carry myself. Like at that time, being very young and what's wrong, Baba? She's like, oh, you're gonna go with Peaches. You're chilling.
She's chilling. Bless her.
At that time, being very young and being from fresh out of a young offenders. I still had that attitude and that energy of that, and I carried that into music. And sometimes when I watch my early behavior on the DVDs, I feel ashamed. I kind of cringe. Like, because there was no reason to be really acting like that way. But at the same time, it's all part of history and growing and growth. So I look at it and learn from it.
When you say that you cringed, how were you carrying yourself? Just to give people a little insight.
Just on a mad, I was just on a mad hype 24/7. I was just on a mad hype 24/7, man.
So you were hype?
Yeah, just gassed 24/7, like my daughter is right now.
Yeah, but she's well controlled. You're gonna pass the mic so we can get a little hello. Can you say hello? Hello, Papa. Oh, that shows you he's a family man and he's bringing his daughter in. All right then. With that being said, because it's nice to see how you've reflected on your past behaviour, and what you were displaying. With that being said, you've worked in a group, and then solo with various producers. Which do you prefer?
I prefer solo, to be honest. Like, creatively, I'm like a control freak. So,
so you're a control freak, yeah?
So I prefer to work alone in that aspect. But being in like Nasty Crew that was amazing. That was a learning experience for me in itself. And then obviously being the movement, I'm still the movement now, but with the movement, it's less groupish and it's more like a collective that come together. So
the bottom line of it is, so would you say that the group was the foundation, the beginning point, and then you've evolved as an individual, definitely, and now you know where you stand. So that cringe-worthy behavior that you were saying you were going on with before, you've now been able to mature.
I didn't like even when people try and push my buttons to get a reaction like that, I kind of really do avoid it now. You know what I'm saying? I try and avoid it.
All right. You talk about being stuck between a rock and a hard place.
Yeah.
What advice would you give to a young person feeling the same?
Follow your heart, man. Like, normally your heart doesn't really lead you into, you know what I'm saying? Just follow your heart.
I like that. Okay. What do you want people to take away from your music? How do you make yourself different from other artists?
I don't even know, I just like to speak about mostly like my day-to-day experiences, you know what I'm saying? As well, like, obviously I touch base on, like, for someone that doesn't really know my music in depth, they probably have the preconception of I spit about like guns and whatnot, because most of my biggest tunes, because that's what people like, and they've pushed it to that platform where it's become massive, might be about that, but at the same time I've always give you the full picture, like just not the side, the of all that crud and whatnot. I try and give it the full picture, like even the person I am when I'm with my parents and whatnot. You know what I'm saying?
How you are. So are you saying that you have yourself of what you're like with the people, and then, you got to break up, and then how you are with your family?
When you go to work, you're like you're in work settings, innit? And then when you're around your family, in your family settings, and when you're in your friends, you're in your friend settings. I try and do all of that through my music. I feel like if I'm gonna do music, the same way I'm gonna speak about something that I know the certain demographic will go mad about, like yo, this tune's cruddy, is the same way I've got to speak about, like being from a broken home or my daughter's birth or what's going on in the world today. Like we
having that same passion.
You know what I'm saying? The same thing, the same way I'm around the ends and I see things when I'm growing up, and my earlier music reflects that. It's the same way I'm at home now and I'm seeing what's going on in Ferguson and places like that. And the same way I could go studio today, and because I've been watching the news, Ferguson's in my mind, on top of my brain. So when I put the pen to paper, it just happens naturally. Like it actually just, I'll just speak about these things naturally. What's ever on top of my mind.
You talk about real everyday issues.
Like what's ever on top of my mind, man.
Do you know what? That's nice, because even with you bringing in about Ferguson, it's like I can go around. People might talk or people might hear certain things, but then when you translate that into your own lives, what's going on in the here and now, you know what I mean? And then you bring it all together, and it's like, how can I be able to implement change in what I do? How can I try to impact other people to be able to push with positive movements forwards? That's really well, I like that. That's what I'm about.